Hope everybody's doing well out there. Hope you're all well. I just wanted to give a little state of the Dream Rig address. I've been mucking around with this Midi stuff for about 3 months now. It's amazing. It really is amazing. And I think it's time to do a full intro. I'm Alec Bourne, started the Midi group because I would spend a hell of a lot of time all over the internet looking for solutions to make this dream rig happen. If you followed Line6 from the beginning, I literally walked into a shop in London looking for a Yamaha Sonic guitar. I'd seen one the night before and was just amazed. Sitting next to it was a Variax, and the guy in the shop showed me two or three things and immediately light bulbs clicked. From there, connectivity is everything with this stuff. It's amazing what you can do. And if you've followed any of the old Line6 vids from, what's his name, Sean Halley or Paul Hindmarsh, Paul, this is all your fault. It's amazing what you can do with this stuff now. My biggest problem is I can't remember all of these settings and dials. I've gone through with old pedals and thought, if you're on stage and you want to change all this stuff, how are you going to do it? How are you going to even remember all this stuff? You'd need a book or something. Well, enter the wonderful world of Helix and snapshots in this. You can record all those things and save them. So you need to change from an acoustic to electric. You can do all of that. You've got 300 amps all set up. But the biggest problem is you get a hold of this stuff, it drives you mad. It's just so much stuff. Enter Midi, snapshots, all of that. The software that these guys are making is wild for what it can do. And the biggest thing is not so much the setting it up. There's a fear factor that most people have who've come from an analog stage and going digital, and they're like, yeah, you can do all this, but you're spending hours and hours and hours dialing this stuff in. What you really want to do is spend the hours and hours dialing it in and then save it and come back the next day and it's all there. And that way you're really reducing the time. Think of it like photography, same thing. It really works. So in the last few days, there's been a lot of talk about OnSong once again. This is an app that does everything. It's kind of best way to think of it is a sequencer. At the moment, when we go through a song, you've got your intro, chorus, verse, blah, blah, blah. There are different settings for all of those. The one thing that hasn't really been addressed so far is automating between them. So say you figure out, hours on end, strumming away, you get your chords, you get your voicings, everything's set. This for me is voodoo. The Midi stuff is easy. Think about this when you're planning your stuff. Get over the fear factor immediately, because once you figure it out, it's easy. What do you want to do with this stuff? And after spending all of this amount of time, and time is the most precious thing, isn't it? Use the toys to make your life easy. OnSong does this because it sequences all of these events, and you can program all of these events in time for anything. So take me, I learned Fragile by Sting maybe 3 years ago and could actually play it really well. Today, I can't remember any of that stuff because I don't have the time to invest in it. But OnSong will keep all of that for you. So I will now flicker over this video. I'm sorry, I don't do the professional YouTube video things. I don't have the time or energy or disposition, but with the stuff that I'm learning, I think it's really important to share that with other people so that they can jump on it and really do stuff. So, one sec. Flick. It's not flicking. Bloody thing. Anyway, let's go ahead. Here you have OnSong. What hasn't really been alluded to in, say, Aaron's videos, Aaron is a professional musician and he's using this stuff the way that I would like to, but he's not going in as deep as you can. He said that, who has time? It's confusing as hell. Hold here on Fragile, and you get MIDI events coming up. You can then dump in there. You've got control types, channels, all of this stuff. This is all standard MIDI. Hit a program note. My Helix is on channel 4. Just randomly, I put that in there because why not? Hit the programs, and you get all of these things coming up. What the hell is a glockenspiel? I've had this 4 years. I've never messed with it. Last night, a couple of the guys, John was telling me, hey, go in, you can mess with it and change it. So I went in, messed with it, started looking around and figured out, okay, these are program numbers. All of these square leads, so these are all randomly put in there. I changed my stomp to reflect this and then put in 99. 99, one under there, hit test command, boom. And I've got my Taylor. Hey, isn't that cool? So it takes you back to the same spot. Bam, my Mason. These are all Glendaloughn's patches, which I've ripped to shreds and put back together again. They're brilliant. Go and get them. Look at that. McPherson test. And off you go. So leave the toys alone for a sec. Think about this. What you don't want to have to do is mess with this stuff eventually. Sure, you're going to have to put some time in to get it working. But this program, all the other programs that are out there, they're all doing the same thing. If you've got an old FCB, if you've got an old board and you can change the CC commands on it, power to you. Your old gear can control all this stuff in some ways. You'll see here, I've got Morningstar, I've got a Sim one. This is brilliant. This kind of does a Variax-y thing, but not. This will steal any pickup sound from any guitar and make any other guitar sound like it. Brilliant. This means without VDI, I can go wireless and have a whole bunch of guitars, an infinite number of guitars ready to roll. This little box, this beauty right here, wireless, look ma, no cables, no nothing. I can go over there to the old thing, flick a button, and off you go. I just changed a song. When that song comes up, I can now program in here, boom, Kansas, Dust in the Wind. Give me one of my little acoustic patches, set everything up as I want it, set all the delays up, set the tap timer, and then you've got all of these bloody chords. You can change these. You can go in there. If you're someone who's learning how to play this stuff, you can hit that and it will start playing the chords for you. It will arpeggiate them and you can figure it out. You can change them. You can move up the neck. So if you're trying to figure out stuff like modes, which are confusing as hell to me, or you want to learn other voicings, or you're really struggling with the more fundamental guitar concepts that take some time, invest your time in the toys, and then they will hold all this information for you, and you don't have to fill your head with all of this stuff. I don't know how musicians do it. Hats off to you. For us engineering types, this is really wow. Have a think about it, look at it, and start sharing your thoughts and solutions, because the guys who are building stuff like this, what they want is to hear from us. They really want to know, how can we program these to better suit you? And I'm working with Dom Alf and the guys down there right now to figure out what is the most efficient way that can drive that using that. And the stuff it can do is mind-blowing. Morningstar I've already configured to do some of this stuff, but you're limited. If you've got somebody with a programmer who's asking for help, wow, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be just so amazing. So that's the state of the Dream Rig. If you have no idea what the Dream Rig is, go back to 2014, look at all the Paul Hindmarsh and Sean Halley vids. It will blow you away. And Nowadays, instead of being an entire room full of stuff, that can fit in a gig bag. You can walk out of here and have every guitar in the world, every drum set, all the backing tracks you want, lighting control, everything in one little bag. That's what the MIDI Scientist group is all about here. It's figuring out how to get all your stuff to talk to all your other stuff and eventually make your life easy so you can play.